So the artist is a few minutes late, right? So I decided I'm gonna go to McDonald's, have some breakfast. Right, so this will be a little bit of a hardcore because I'm getting my kneecap tattooed. Mike Tyson said, without discipline you ain't nobody. And he's so right, you know? Wednesday, but would you look at that view? Would you look at that? Today I'm gonna be working remotely, and that means that I'm gonna be in my tattoo studio for the full day, getting tattooed. And I'm gonna show you what this place is all about, and I'm gonna have a lot of time to talk about some stories. Basically, that studio, I opened it so I can tattoo myself on my own terms. So, you know the way you go to a studio and they tell you not to be doing this, not to be doing that? Well, nobody can tell me shit. Plus, it's gonna be a cool business if it expands. The tattoo studio is in Glasnevin. That used to be my very old office. So my roofing company basically sprouted from that office. Then I opened a little tattoo studio there for my ex, but then when we split, I said, what the hell, I just refurbished the studio and then I hired an artist. And big bada boom, I have a tattoo studio. That's basically the story behind that studio. Generally speaking, I wouldn't open a business like that because it's not expandable, it's not scalable. Well, it is expandable, but it's not scalable. You know, generally speaking, you know, for that studio to make me any amount of money that will make me happy, I would have at least 3 studios, and I would have to have at least 4 guys in each studio for that to make sense financially. And that's what I'm aiming for, basically. So we're gonna try. I'm gonna tattoo myself first for a few weeks. I don't want people to be booked in when I want to get myself tattooed. So basically we're not taking any clients just yet, because myself, Henry and a few other lads, we're occupying the studio full time. So when we're finished, then we're gonna open the studio to be open to public. For now, that's the way it is. And when we get to the studio, I'm gonna talk a lot about motivation versus discipline, right? People usually ask me, well, how do you get your motivation? How do you get your motivation? And the truth is that I don't. I'm just disciplined, you know? Motivation comes and goes. But the moment you have discipline, you know, you're always doing the right thing. So once you have a detailed plan of action, and then it's followed by discipline, you're unstoppable. And I'm gonna talk for a few hours about this, and then we're gonna split it and we're gonna throw it into different episodes. So this is a very important type of knowledge. I've never learned that stuff in school. Nobody ever told me this crap, you know what I mean? Took me years to learn it and to, you know, apply it, because, you know, the truth of the matter is that all of the information is out there. Years ago it was, you know, the information was hidden from people, but now people are hiding from the information, you know. So it's important to absorb the information and then apply it. You have no idea how many friends I have, and they tell me, oh, well, I've read that book. And I look at them and I'm thinking to myself, what the f did you do with this? You know what I mean? You're still in the same place like you were 2 years ago. So what are you showing off that you read the book if you didn't apply any of it? What's the point? You know, so I'm gonna be emphasizing whoever is watching this series here, I'm assuming that you either like money, you wanna be better, or you just truly hate me and you're just looking at me because you hate me. I love you. So I'm gonna be emphasizing that whatever you learn from me, because this is what the point of this whole thing is, you need to apply it. If I tell you about discipline, about this, about that, you should try this, just try it. What is the worst thing that's gonna happen? It doesn't cost you any money, you know? You're not gonna get older quicker, you know? Like, there's no other outcome than a good outcome, you know? And you know, to somebody this might be a little bit extreme. What is this fucker doing, you know, open his own studio just so he can get tattooed? But you know, when you work the way I work and my boys, you know, time, like, you know, we get no time. Even Saturdays and Sundays I'm always doing stuff. So, you know, if I was to book every week a fucking day with somebody and then they cancel and then I cancel, it doesn't work, I have a meeting, it's just a pain in the arse. But this way I have my own artist and he's working on my conditions. You know, it just makes the life a lot easier. It really does, you know. Plus it's cheaper as well, I'm not gonna lie. And a funny fact about tattoos is that I never wanted to get tattoos on my neck or any visible parts of my body because of the line of work I'm in. But then when I started getting more into the marketing, you know, I figured, and I actually read this in a book, people who have a face tattoos or neck tattoos or any visual tattoos and they do marketing, their videos are being watched a couple of seconds more on average. But a couple of seconds, it makes a hell of a difference to the algorithms on TikTok. Would you believe it? So, you know, that's 50% of the reason why I'm getting them tattoos. It's marketing. Because, you know, I don't know what you think my job is, but my job is strictly marketing these days. I have great managers, a lot of them, they're looking after the business. My job is to make sure that the phone rings. That's it. And obviously solve problems as they come along. But generally speaking, you know, that's my job. I'm a marketer, an advertiser. That's how I see myself. If anybody asks me what do I do, that's what I would tell them. So the artist is a few minutes late, right? So I decided I'm gonna go to McDonald's, have some breakfast. Funny fact about McDonald's, not this particular one, but I used to work in McDonald's in, where the hell was that? Dolomite Shopping Center, about 15 years ago. One good thing about it is you get free group. No, that's why, you know, when I say to people now, people give out, oh yeah, you have to, you know, I was having this conversation with a girl that's renting a box room off me, right? Blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, 1 hour getting to work, it's an awful time, blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't do such a thing. And I said, you know, when I used to work in McDonald's, I used to travel from Black Horse Avenue to bloody Dolomite Shopping Center on 2 buses. 2 hours each way to work for 6 hours for $8.60 an hour. You think you have it bad? That's why when I go to McDonald's, I enjoy those bloody burgers 10 times more than I used to. You know, my lads don't know how good they have it, you know, with the uniforms and all this, because when you, I don't know if it's still the case, but before, when you worked in McDonald's, they made you pay for your own uniform. Imagine that, the f***ing neck on them. Yeah, come over, work for 8 or 9 euro an hour and buy your own shit. Oh, some cheek. Well, hello. So, I'd say about 85 to 90% of our lads are from my country, so they're Polish, right? So I was thinking, you know, when I'm going around and I'm recording what I do, how I do, when I'm talking to my managers, you know, talking in English is gonna be awkward as hell and it's gonna be fake. And one thing about me is I'm not fake. There's absolutely no filter. You probably know that already from watching my TikTok, so I don't give a flying, you know. So I was thinking that whenever I'm talking to the lads, I'm just gonna speak it in my native language and then I'm gonna put subtitles, you know. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about this idea, or should we just speak in English? You know what I mean? I'll let you choose. Yeah, when I pull over, I'll show you the insides of this G-Wagon. Like, people think this car is cool. There's nothing cool about it whatsoever. The only luxury item here is the 3-way fan. That doesn't work on the third gear. And after that, there's nothing here really. Half of the stuff doesn't even work. It's basically a big tractor that looks cool from the outside. That's it. Cost me an absolute fortune. If you wanted to buy one of these now in a semi-good condition, you'd pay probably 35 to 40,000 euro, right? I bought this one for 8, but we put so much work into it and we made a couple of mistakes. Basically, when I started doing this car restoration stuff, I didn't have a lot of knowledge about it, so we made a couple of mistakes. This is the first car that we did in the garage, you know. So if I added everything together, I stopped counting after 65,000 euro of what the car is after costing me. I reckon it's about 70 G's. It got 2 spray jobs, you know. We gave it to some guy in Finglas when I didn't have my spray boot, and they made a look, there was a body kit, it didn't fit. They were blaming it on this, then we sandblasted it. Yeah, a few mistakes made on this, but it's all good now. You have to admit that McDonald's have one of the best coffees out there. Now, I'm not a coffee man at all, so you know, you might have a different opinion if you're in the coffee business, you know. But to me, guy that doesn't drink coffee, McDonald's coffee does the job. So this is it basically. We are in Glasnevin, and this is my little studio here called Tattoo Clinic. Let's go in. So this is basically what I'm getting on my kneecap, which is here. And here I can chill getting tattooed while I'm looking at my G. Right, so this will be a little bit of a hardcore because I'm getting my kneecap tattooed, and I'm gonna try to talk about motivation versus discipline. As I said before, without discipline, motivation doesn't work. You know who said this? Mike Tyson said, without discipline, you ain't nobody. You don't have discipline, you ain't nobody. It's all down to the discipline, you know? So that's why I will always emphasize to have your goals written so you know exactly where you're going. And if you just stick to that plan with discipline, that's it. You know, your success will be guaranteed. And, you know, like, I will always say that you have to educate yourself on topic of business, on setting goals, on management, on discipline. Like, you have to read books about it, you know. And, you know, just the fact that you're listening to me in English, it tells me that you're in a very good position, because guess what? When I started learning all this crap, I couldn't understand English. But to me, There was no other option. It was I either succeed or I don't want to be on this planet. That's how bad it was. And that's how motivated I was, and that's how much drive I had, and I still have. It's either this or nothing, you know? So when I started absorbing books and audiobooks, like I would listen to audiobook, and I wouldn't understand anything from it. And then I would put it on again, and I would put it on again. And after the 10th time, I started getting stuff. So I was not only learning English, but I was also learning business ethics. So there you go. You know, when I say to somebody, well, you should listen to audiobooks, and person says to me, oh, I can't focus. You're just now hungry little That's what it is. I mean, because I didn't understand either. I couldn't focus either, but I knew that this was the way. This was the way, and look, I am where I am solidly because of that. Like, people think that, oh, Lucas is lucky. There's no look anywhere, you know? There's no look anywhere. It's all education, you know? That's all it is, you know? It all depends on how hungry you are and how much you want to achieve your success. But this is all determined of how bad you hit the rock bottom, in my opinion. Because if you look at all the greatest people in the world, they all have been on the very, very bottom. And then they bounce back, you know? And don't be thinking that it's too late for you, even if you're in your 40s. But I'm assuming that is the younger lads that are watching me. So, you know, make a decision today to download this bloody app, Audible. I always repeat myself on TikTok and on Instagram, you know. I download Audible. I don't get any commission from them or anything. This is not marketing. I'm just giving you solid advice. Download that bloody app and make sure that you listen at least 20 minutes a day. Just discipline yourself. That's all it is, you know. My advice would be to try to listen to it in the mornings, when your brain is fresh. It's not full of shit after an entire day, because whether you like it or not, your brain works like a vacuum. You put on the vacuum and it's going to suck whatever goes into it. But if you're just going around listening to the radio, watching TV, listening to broke people all day, every day, that's what people do. You're basically going to be vacuum. You're going to absorb all that information, and that's going to be stored in your subconscious mind, and you're going to be operating on the basis of that software, you know? Yeah, there's so many topics I want to talk about. By the way, everything I'm saying here, and I will be saying in all the episodes to come, is basically a rumble. It's a waffle. I have nothing written down on notes. It's basically all the information I have in here, and I just want to pass it on. That's what it is, you know? People look for results very quick. They're going to write their goals. Like, I have friends and people who I said it to, including family members, blah, blah, blah. And they would stop after 2 weeks. That stuff doesn't work, Lucas. You're a load of bollocks, you know? And then I tell them, well, did you do it for at least 21 days? Because that's how long it takes to form a new habit, you know? Okay, I'm going to put that into perspective. Let's say you're walking through a field, right? You're walking through a field and the field is full of grass. That's your brain. It's basically full of crap that the vacuum sucked into your subconscious mind. And it's a big field full of grass. If you make one way through this field, across this field, is there going to be a path? No, there's not going to be a path. What if you walked twice or 3 times? If you walk the next day, would you see the path that this is where you're going? No, the chances are that you would not. But what if you walked for 21 days in and out, in and out, in and out through the same field? If you looked on the ground, would you see a path? Yes, you would. This is exactly how habits are formed. So give yourself a solid goal to try something new and do it for 21 days and keep doing it. And I'm going to be giving you tips and tricks here that you should start with. And the number uno is starting with listening to audiobooks. Just give yourself 20 minutes a day. And I'm telling you, in a year or 2 years, you're going to be a different person. And start with Brian Tracy's audiobooks. I'm going to throw them somewhere here on the screen. Also, you can go to my Instagram, and the link will be below. And you can look at the books. Oh shit, I deleted all them. Anyway, I'll make another highlight with all the books after this video. So when you go to my Instagram, you can see all the books and audiobooks that I've listened to, okay? So you can follow the path. And stick to it. It's all about discipline. Remember that, you know? And also, another topic I'm going to touch off here about healthy obsession about your craft. This is something Grant Cardone talks about a lot, okay? He even wrote a book about it. It's called Be Obsessed or Be Average, okay? And this is so true. You're either going to be obsessed about your craft or you're not. Who else talks about this very often? Conor McGregor. What does he say? You need to be obsessed. You need to develop a healthy obsession about what you do. Do you think this guy goes to sleep and he thinks about Pokemon or football or some other crap? No. This guy is swallowed by MMA. That's all he does. He breathes it. He lives it. You know what I mean? For example, I believe in my head that I am a money-making machine, and I'm a machine for developing ideas on how to make money. I go around and I see ideas on how to make money everywhere. People are, in fact, they're sick of listening to me, because everybody I talk to, everything I see, I look at that and I say, geez, you can make a few pounds on that. Why are you doing it this way? Why don't you do it that way? Blah, blah, blah. I drilled this into my head, and that's all I see, you know. For example, people who do tattoos. People who do tattoos and all they do is tattoo, and all they think about is becoming a great tattoo artist. They go everywhere and they see tattoo designs. Oh, Jesus, look at that cloud. It looks like something, blah, blah, blah. They develop a healthy obsession. And this is something you should develop, you know. You know, another good reason why you should start educating yourself on the business topic is that, you know, you can really fast forward your growth. You know, people say to me, oh, I don't need this business crap. I can just do everything naturally, and I'm gonna be just as good. And I say, yeah, you probably could. A lot of people just wing it and they're grand. But the thing is that every single mistake, every single problem that you could possibly have, somebody already had, and they written about it in a book, and then they recorded audiobook about it. So you can go through life, you know, making mistakes and fixing them, or you could read a bunch of books and don't make the mistakes. You know, it's simple as that. I'm gonna put this into perspective. So I've been in business for, let's say, 7 to 10 years, right? Right now I have what, 4, 5, 6 businesses. And you know, everything is made in a way that I answer phone calls to only one guy. Like, clients don't ring me when there's a roof leaking. Like, nobody rings me when they want to buy a product. Nobody rings me when they want a tattoo. Nobody rings me when they want to get a car done. Every single business has its own management. That management has its own supervisors. There's people responsible for this. There's people responsible for customer service. There's people responsible for marketing. But you know, how do you think I came to all this? You know, I mean, I knew I had to get them. I knew I had to structure it in that way. There is absolutely nothing worse than jumping into business and thinking that you can do it all by yourself. That is just, I don't know. Some people do it and they make sense of it. Hands up, I'm not putting anybody down. If you think that this is the way to do it, well on. This is not my way, and this is not the way I'm gonna teach, you know? You know, in fact, I think that if you already have 5 employees, whatever it is that you're doing, you should employ a general manager for your business who looks after that business. And then you look at the business from a helicopter view, and you're looking at all the aspects of business, and all you should be doing is making sure the phone rings and adjusting mistakes and basically fixing everything as it happens. Because the general manager might not be as good in the first year or 2. It's also very important to pick quality people for general managers, okay? I've had this problem before where I would employ mates to be general managers or even managers, and people who wouldn't necessarily have the management experience, or you know, yeah, they wouldn't have the management experience, and then I would think, yeah, well, he's good at this line of work, so he's going to learn the management and he's going to be great. No. Doesn't work that way, you know. The people don't have that ambition. They simply don't. They want to get into work, they want to finish at 5, and they want to go back home. That's it, you know. So what I would suggest is find somebody who is already manager, even in a different aspect of the business. Like, for example, Henry, who's the best guy I've ever met in my life. This guy is beyond, he's just super, in my eyes, he's a bit of a genius, right? But when Henry started working with me, he was managing a restaurant. He knew nothing about roofs, he knew nothing about selling products. He was a general manager of a restaurant. But his skills were transferable, you know? Customer service, how to deal with people, how to do this, how to do that, you know? He was managing about 60 people in restaurant, you know, before he came to me. And now everything, Henry basically runs most of the gig, you know? But there you go. What, do you think Henry works 8 to 5? No, he doesn't. He's always in work. Even before this guy goes to sleep, he's setting the teams for the next day. On Sunday afternoon, he might be on his phone, getting shit done. This is a proper GM. When you're a GM, general manager, 8 to 5 doesn't really work. But the thing is that people think that, you're giving me this job. How much am I gonna get? How much am I gonna get? You know what I mean? People need to prove themselves first, and then the rewards comes after, you know? I remember when I was working with my old boss, and we went into kind of a partnership, and he made me a boss of his company. I was getting feck all. I wasn't getting money. And I was working like a horse, you know? So there you go. That's the employment of managers. I would always advise towards employing somebody who already has the management skill. Don't be trying to teach your friends. That would be my advice, you know. So, you know, before you hire the manager, it's like a body count. You know, when you're looking for a wife, you know, body count really matters, doesn't it? Like if you know, if your girl tells you on the first day that she had 400 guys, you'd probably be skeptical a little bit about her, wouldn't you? You know. And it's the same with the managers or even staff. You know, if you're looking for somebody for an important position and they tell you that they had 10 jobs in the past 10 years, why would you want to even invest your time in that person? Because the chances are that that person is going to leave within a year. That's what the statistics say, you know. So I would be really concerned, and I would really do my homework when I'm employing somebody for that position. Now, right now, the way I am now, I don't employ a lot of people. I only employ managers, you know. My managers employ staff. That's the way it works. Oh boy, that was some day. Just came back from the tattoo studio, but I think I'm still gonna smash the gym. I know I'm not supposed to, but I did the work on the legs. So if I did my upper body, I think I'll be grand. So I'm gonna hit Sylvester and see if we can smash the gym, and I'll see you tomorrow. Boom.